I just want to make this video to talk about what the state of music is right now because, to be honest, this isn't a question I can even answer because I have no clue what it is. Every single day when I come from school, when I'm just walking around, I go to music because I'm not gonna lie, I can't afford Spotify, Apple Music, any of that. Run up these videos so I can get my money up. But I go on music. I got a bootleg, and I find myself just looking through my past searches trying to look at something good because a lot of my favorite artists, they for some reason hate posting, or not posting but just releasing. For example, Kanye, that used to be my guy. We all know what happened to him. I could make a video on him too because although y'all say he's crazy, and he might be crazy, I think he plays the role of the fool. I don't know if you know any Shakespeare or tarot cards. I said tarot cards or anything like that. But there's a character called the Fool, and yes, when you think of a fool traditionally, it is a clown. But the fool is also able to say and do things and be real in ways that other people aren't able to. But that's another video for another day. The state of music is terrible. People like Kanye, bro, posts on an account called Ye. Ain't nobody looking at the Ye account. Oh my, do I have asthma? Forgive me for that. But music right now is in a terrible state. Beyond Kanye, when you look at Uzi doesn't drop his best songs. He purposely chooses to drop his worst songs because he's tired of the leakers. Like, that's a terrible method. And don't even get me started on Playboy Cardi. How long did bro delay the album for? But bro, Cardi was teasing that music album like in what, 2021? It's the big 2025 right now. And he just finally dropped it. So what is bro doing? And not to mention that album was the most overhyped, overrated thing that I've ever seen. Half of those songs I heard before he released the album, either through leaks, snippets, stuff like that. And I understand why artists hate on leaks because it does ruin the album especially for me in music. Bro, I thought music was about to be life changing. I saw DJ Academics like years ago talk about, oh, this is Cardi's greatest album. He's breaking the barriers. He's about to do something that other artists can't even imagine. It's never been done before. All bro did was morph in the future. He just got a deeper voice and morphed in the future. By the way, Future did wash him, but he's morphing into a worse version of Future. That's all he did. But we're not even just going to talk about Cardi. I'm going to be real. I don't even listen to I don't even listen to rap music anymore. I've been listening to Afro beats. I've been listening to R&B. I've been listening to pop. Literally anything but rap music. Now, rap is sort of dead. We all sort of know this. I mean, the biggest rapper right now is Kendrick Lamar. And Kendrick Lamar, he is a good rapper. But he's not a complete one. And by that, I mean, he has good lyrics. He has good messages, storytelling, immaculate, all that stuff. But the problem is in the actual sound of the music he makes. His music sounds terrible. Now, as a black person, I mean, obviously, I relate to some of the messages. I do think that it's important to have someone that's still using art as a form of activism because as much as I love Drake sound-wise, he literally said it during the beef, you're rapping like you're trying to get the slaves free. Ah! You're rapping like you're trying to get the slaves free, which honestly I sort of found quite disrespectful. Because he started diminishing the activism and the efforts made by Kendrick to go face the ongoing problem of racism. And it's honestly ironic coming from Drake because he has himself made statement pieces where he's addressed racism and issues like that. But it feels like a facade considering how he handled the beef. But I still love Drake. I think Kendrick had definitely also flaws in beef considering that TDE literally went through a sexual assault lawsuit after he called Drake a pedophile. But no one covers that. But that's besides the point. Even when it comes to that beef, although I could talk about that, I could talk about how no one won the beef but Lucci and Grange because they're both basically tap dancing because what Kendrick did was lower Drake's contract by basically taking him off the market and killing his career and giving him less leverage because Drake was becoming like Michael Jackson in these tables, blah, blah, blah. I could talk about that, but we're not going to talk about that. We're going to talk about how music is dead. Because it really is. Like, and by music, I mean music in general. Who is the biggest star right now? I hope it's not Kendrick, because Kendrick doesn't do anything star like besides this Drake. Back in the day, you used to have your Michael Jacksons. I remember you even had your Lil Pumps. Lil Pump used to be the talk of the town back in the day, That was all people were talking about. Lil Pump this, Lil Pump that, Lil Pump did this, he did that, and it was beyond just the music itself. It was you cared about the lifestyle, you cared about all elements and facets of the person. But right now, there's nobody like that, and it's sort of sad to see because as a person who has been passionate about music, as a person who it's helped me in many different ways, there's not that one rapper or artist that's really doing anything that influential. Again, like I said with Kendrick, I want to like Kendrick so bad, but his beats suck. He has the worst beat selection in history. Now there's a couple exceptions to that rule. For example, Mad City. I like the beat on Mad City, but he has the worst beat selection in history, dude. And I want to like him so bad because of the message he says, because of how every other pro-black person likes him. But his music is trash. Like, Drake won the beef. I'm gonna be real. Drake won the beef because I couldn't listen to Kendrick's tracks. I was going to sleep. Besides, I like Euphoria, though. I do like Euphoria. But even when you look at Kendrick's GNX, he's doing it's like he's doing a bad impression of Draco the Ruler. Like, if you hear any real West Coast music, I don't understand how you could listen to GNX. But that's besides the point. We have no real stars in music right now. There's not a one clear outlier that just really gets people excited, and no one who's just continually aura farming that we're all like, oh my god, I want to meet him or her, or stuff like that. We have no one pushing the boundaries of art. Everything that's considered different is really not. Like, for example, Doechii, because honestly, I think ChatGPT could make a Doechii song, or could have just created Doechii in general. Doechii is literally the epitome of your modern day woke artist. And a lot of these woke artists that try so hard to be different, they just end up putting themselves in a bubble that's like every other woke artist. But that's just my opinion. There's not anyone pushing the boundaries. There's not anyone doing different. There's not a new sound, nothing like that. Cardi used to be the new sound, but now he's morphing in the future? Like, what? I don't know. That's just my opinions on the music industry. I do want to go a bit more into the beef a little bit. I know I said I wasn't going to cover that, but I do feel like that's a important milestone. I mean, hip hop was eating, dude. Why do I say do like that? I gotta stop listening to Rakai. That nigga's corny. I gotta stop saying the N word too. Making a video on that soon. But hip hop was eating after the beef. Everyone was invested. That's probably the biggest moment, at least in the past few years, for hip hop. Like, everyone was invested. Everyone was wondering who's gonna do what, who's gonna say what next. Now, there hasn't been a moment like that since, but I would like to say that beef did not help either Kendrick or Drake. Now, we all know how it didn't help Drake. I mean, his career sort of got killed a bit. But maybe you don't know all the ways that hurt Drake. For example, Drake, his contract was getting, a bit bigger, and it was going to be a bit harder for him to be properly compensated due to the size that he was amassing. Drake has been dominating the industry for so many years, and he was getting in tables and in conversations and stuff that he shouldn't have been. And the only way they can shut that down is to have someone displace him. For example, when you look at Michael Jackson was buying the Beatles catalog. He bought Eminem's catalog. He was sort of like playing Monopoly. He was making decisions that he actually had a business partner with Sony at the time, but he was making decisions that the other business partner didn't like. So you know what they did? They displaced him. The pedophile rumors started coming out. They started calling him Wacko Jacko, etc. It's sort of the same thing with Drake. He was getting in it. Forgive my asthma. I just was playing basketball all day, and I need to get on my exercise journey, but forgive that. But anyway, it's the same thing with Drake. Drake was starting to get in tables and conversations he shouldn't have been in. He was expanding, going to the streaming side. Everyone knows Drake. He's getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And it was hard. It seemed like he was impossible to shut down. But they tried to do that with Kendrick, who had at the time a temporary contract with UMG, so it's sort of like he's looking to see what can UMG do for me. And what they did is they propped him up, they displaced Drake, and they basically knocked out two birds with one stone that by putting Kendrick up so that he'll want to sign and continue his deal with UMG while putting Drake down, so he can't have all the power and leverage that he had. And this didn't help anybody. While Kendrick does believe, or he might believe, because I think he continued the contract. I haven't heard of him getting dropped from UMG. But while Kendrick may believe that he's getting help by this, what happens when he's in Drake's position, when he's the biggest, and when it's his time? And for Drake, we see outwardly just how he's been impacted by this. There's pedophile rumors on his head, stuff like that. But it goes even beyond that. It feels like, I don't know if you guys have ever heard of Django. I haven't even watched it, but I just heard the analogy. But they're both literally tap dancing for massa, and while they may think that by dissing each other and stuff like that, that one of them is gonna win and stuff like that, they're both all in the end losing. I don't know if y'all get all that. That was sort of just, I don't know. Hey, thanks for watching. Next video will be on something. What did I say the next video is gonna be on? Did I say not saying the N-word? Oh, the fool. Yeah, next video will probably be on the fool. Yeah, that's it. That's all I got for y'all. Good damn.